Welcome to Gore, and Getting Deep, the podcast where we dive into stories that twist your thoughts and challenge your reality. So, I'm gonna introduce myself first as the host. My name is Saisa. Miss
And my name is Ella Fitria.
My name is Gisela Ananda Garilin.
My name is Fadila Dehanriandini.
And my name is Billy. Hello, everyone.
So, today's story is of other element of psychological thriller that be questioning everything you thought you knew. Directed versus and starring Leonardo DiCaprio. This film isn't just a mystery, it's a mind game. So just let's get into it. Today I'm gonna be the one who asks the question. This question is gonna lead for everyone who wants to answer. So my question is, what was your first reaction after finishing the movie?
Honestly, after the movie ended, I just sat and like everything I feel but upset. I immediately rewatched it to get close. I had missed it the first time. Left heavy, almost waking, feeling not feeling, but again sadness for Teddy.
Okay, that's a answer. So maybe to answer Ian.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna. What is it? So, what about this movie? This movie is very interesting and very intriguing, in my opinion, because it's many symbolism and it also has great action, which is very suit with my taste. This action, yeah, it's overall it's really good movie.
Okay, I think it's a really good movie. I personally think it is a good movie. Okay, so let's get into the second one. We're gonna talk about the characters now, yeah? So, okay, let's get to the questions.
Okay, now we got to my favorite part of the character. Of course, we're talking here about the Teddy Daniels, or it's played by Andrew Ledis. So he is our main character. So I want to know about what you think, guys, about the main character here.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this question, and oh my god, yes, so interesting. But from the start, I didn't fully believe that the movie told me, like the whole Andrew Ladis thing. I was skeptical. Maybe that's my overthinking and trust issue showing. But it made me view him as a serious figure that are layers with not easy to peel. What made him super interesting is how he's both the hero and the villain. Depending on how you choose to see him, like he's hunting down some conspiracy. But it turns out he's just running from the truth inside his own head. He's not just mentally, it's literally built like the world to protect himself, brave. And I think that's so also, I loved how the roleplay thing was dying him. That moment really showed how deep he's not our straightforward character at all. He's complicated, broken, and never really know if you're watching someone heal or suffer. That's all from me. And
Okay, just start next question. We're gonna talk about the physiological. Anyone wanna ask a question?
ask the question about psychological instinct.
Go on.
This one is my favorite topic of today's. I'm going to ask a question my favorite topic itself. So after we watch the movie itself, there are kind of magical symbolism in there. What do you think the symbolisms are, and what does it portray?
For me, one of the most powerful factors, fire one appears when Teddy is trapped in illusions or denial. It represents his constructed reality, his need to escape the main of the past. For example, he imagined Andrew Ladis burn down the apartment, which is a complete fabrication, but it helps him cope with the truth he doesn't want to face. While water is a symbol of truth, trauma, and memory. is the element he fears the most because it's linked to the drowning of his children. It's interesting that throughout the movie he avoids water or reacts strongly to it.
Maybe I'm gonna add some details about this symbolism. Yes, this symbolism is very interesting. Fire and water. So the water is representing reality, memory, trauma that Andrew Ladies is trying to suppress. So, in the movie, whenever the water scene is often emotionally intense or revealing scene, like the scene, the lake, the storm, the cliff, or even the glass of water that vanish. It's using a visual emotional of fantasy denial and constructed reality that Teddy made up in his mind. So he's often hallucinating about fire, like when he dreams where his wife will burn, or when he lights a match and imagining things. So psychologically, this fire is served as his defense mechanism, illusion to escape pain he's been suffered to. So in short, water is symbolic of painful truth, and fire symbolic of comforting illusion. So that contrast is everything in the film. So it's very interesting.
Okay, that's actually really interesting. It's like it's contrasting. So we have already talked about characters and the psychological. Now I want to talk. Let's talk about the reality. So who wants to give their questions and let us answer the question.
Me. And this is reality versus illusion. Okay, guys, what about your opinion? Is this a mystery movie or a psychological horror?
I'd say it's much more of a psychological horror than a mystery. Well, it does start off with mystery vibes, like who Rachel Solando is, where she went, and what's going on at the institution. The real horror comes from the psychological unraveling of Teddy's identity. It's not about solving a case, it's about watching someone slowly lose their mind. The horror lies in how the mind can protect itself through the denial, and how trauma can reshape reality. That's honestly way scarier than any murder mystery because it makes you question your own perception at what is.
So it's really talking about our mental scene, right? Like it's playing with our mental. Okay, we have to. If you guys want to watch this movie, you really have to get your mentals ready, guys, because it's really like playing your mind. Okay, so everyone is already asking me a question. Now I want to ask about the cinematic here. So I want to ask you guys, what scenes that really stood out emotionally and why? Does anyone want to answer this question?
So yeah, I'm gonna answer again. So as you know that cinematography in Shutter Island is done by Robert Richardson. So what is about his work? So the first one I noticed is unsettling atmosphere. So what is it? So when I watch the film, I feel constantly feel off because even though the visual is very beautiful, but there's something strange in my head. Something lingering sense of dread, and I believe that it's intentionally made by Richard. And second one is the visual misdirection. So Robert subtly guides us to accept that Teddy's point of view, even when it's distorted, were in his head, even visually. So there is some scene that in Teddy's head, we as a watcher see it that this is real happen, but in reality it just something happened in Teddy's mind. So I'm gonna take one example here. So the very iconic scene in this movie is the glass of water scene. So so it happened when Teddy interviewed a patient in the institution, right? So the woman the interview scene is very nervous. He drinks a glass of water, but in one shot we can see the woman lift the hand to drink, but there's no hand in the glass. Then she put empty hand down and the glass is back. In these subtle moments, it's very easy to miss, but it's a visual clue that Teddy's perception of reality is broken because it's back to the previous topic that water is tied down with the Teddy's trauma. The cinematographic is very brilliant because this scene is shot subjectively, showing us how the world through Teddy's fractured perception. And this is very interesting since I think that's all for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, really. That's a really good question answers. Okay, I'm going to go with the next one. Let's talk about the personal. So, who wants to open a discuss here?
I think I'm going to ask one question about personal and philosophical takeaways.
Sure.
So, in the end, we know what Teddy says. He says which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man. What do you guys think about the meaning behind that famous quote?
Honestly, for me, that line is one of the most heartbreaking parts of the whole movie. It shows that Andrew is actually aware of the truth. He remembers what he did, who really he is, and the pain that comes with that. But the pain is too much, so instead of living with the unbearable guilt and being labeled as a monster, he chose to be lobotomized. He pretends to relapse so they go through with the procedure. It's really a heartbreaking decision, but I think it shows how deep trauma can go. Sometimes facing the truth is more painful than death itself. The quote also forced the audience to think, would you rather live with the truth and be haunted by it forever, or choose peace through forgetfulness, even if it means losing who you are? It's a devastating choice, but it makes the ending so powerful.
Oh my god, okay, that's actually a really good explanation from Dila. Okay, this is about to end, and I want to ask to you guys if you guys want to still add something that you want to ask, or what do you guys think?
Yes, I want to add some one question. Okay, guys, after all of our discussion about this movie, would you recommend this movie to others? If yes, why? Or if no, why not?
I'm going to answer this one, and to be honest, I wouldn't personally recommend it to everyone. Not because it's bad, but because it's mentally heavy, just like what Saisa had said. Like, if you're not ready to overthink your entire existence, maybe sit this one out.
The same here. I would recommend it, but I want people that is heavy emotionally. Hearing everyone's different interpretation makes me realize how many hidden details the movie has. It made me appreciate the film even more.
Okay, guys, for Giselle and Gabby, and after you heard the answers from others, did it change your interpretation?
As for my interpretation, I'm still kind of stuck with my original one. But I'll say this, hearing all of the different takes from y'all really did open my eyes to other layers that I didn't catch before. It didn't change my core belief, but it made me appreciate the film even more for how complex it is. And for Gabby, do you have any more to add?
No, and my opinion. And
And for my friends, I want to ask you the one last question. So, what rate are you gonna give to this movie?
Oh, okay. So Briley was going to answer, and I think I'm just going to give the opportunity to Briley because nothing else to.
Okay. Yeah, personally, this movie is really 8 out of 10 because it has really good cinematic techniques. It has a really good accents, very visually beautiful, and so on and so on. And last thing about this movie, yes, it's visually heavy, but it's not visually heavy. It's mainly draining for your uh, energy because it's hard and it's really hard to understand sometimes. It's still a real good movie, and I would like to recommend it to anyone who likes action and uh, hard movie to watch.
First, anyone wanna add the answer? Give your opinion.
And I'm going to give my hand, but going to Briley because I cut him off. And I rate this film for like 9 out of 10 because yeah, it's a heavy movie, but it's such an experience to have watched a movie that mess with our minds like this. It's rare to see movies like this, in my opinion, and I really liked it. To be
You really like this kind of it. You really like thinking critically.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have like a different answers, a different rating, guys. So if you guys really love a heart solving, a questioning movie, or a mind games movie, mind games movie, you can watch this movie, guys, because it really suits you. This is like a mystery, thriller, horror. But if you don't like this kind of genre, you can skip out this movie. Okay, and that wraps up our journey into the haunting world of Shadow's Island. Until next time,
Bye.